What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Pascal Show. Thank you so much for checking out my secondary channel. Just so you guys know, this is a breakdown of basically a summary of the live show that I had with you guys earlier this morning, talking about cases, because I understand sometimes sitting through an hour and a half, sometimes 2 or 3 hour long show can be, it takes up a lot of time. So I'm here to give you guys a summary of the conversation we had earlier today. And of course, to bring more awareness on this particular case. And this particular case that we're talking about, and we will be doing this a lot more, and if you do appreciate it, please be sure to hit that like button down below. And of course, subscribe to this channel as well, because there will be not only just clips from my live shows on here, but there will be summaries like this on this channel from this point on. So if you appreciate it, hit that like button, subscribe, please, and thank you. The case that we are here to talk about is of 14-year-old Bryson Muir. Okay, he is 14 years old. He was last seen on June 16th. He was getting into his mother's car. They drove off from his grandmother's house, drove off, and 4 minutes later, police pull them over, check in the car, and this young man is nowhere to be found. Now, I want you guys to see what he actually looked like before he left. Now, first off, real quick, as you can see, this is a young, good-looking kid, okay? Has a lot going for himself, seems very happy. But then you get this photo. And this is how he was last seen. He had a black eye. He was wearing an orange Under Armour t-shirt. I'm assuming it's that t-shirt that he's wearing, and blue jeans. He went to his grandmother's house looking like this from being with his parents. And he even said to his aunt and his grandma, hey, it's okay. I deserved this. No person deserves this, by the way. Not one person. But I think this is one of the reasons that inspired police to pull over his mother's car 4 minutes after they left the grandmother's home. I'll explain in a little bit. But as you can see, this young man is now missing, and he looked like this when he went missing. His father also, by the way, is former NFL football player and former player Daniel Muir. Okay? And of course, we are going to be talking about Daniel Muir in just a little bit, but again, former NFL player. He played for many, many teams. Of course, in the area in Logansport, Indiana, I'm sure he's looked at as a local celebrity and all that. And now their son is missing. And from what we're understanding now, the parents, Daniel and Kristen, his wife, are not cooperating with police. And now they're looked at as prime suspects. Yet they still, as far as the recording of this video right here, they have not been arrested, not once, which of course I have a lot of questions about. But before we get into everything, as you guys already see, there's a lot of questions already sparking up, a lot of red flags, a lot of things that just don't make any sense. And of course, really quick, I do want to give you guys a breakdown of the articles that we went through, just so you kind of get a recap of this. And I pray that you guys share, hashtag his name, get the word out there about this young man, Bryson, because he deserves as much light under the sun as any of these other cases as well. All right. But I do have some questions about this. And it is very, very odd, this situation. Okay. He leaves his grandmother's home, gets into his mother's car, and then disappears 4 minutes after when cops pull them over to, I'm assuming, do a wellness check because he was in dire straits. He obviously was bruised. He was in bad shape. And I think that the grandmother got very concerned and said, okay, I'm taking matters into my own hands. He is in a bad place with his parents. We see a lot of he may be a victim of DV, of CA. Okay, we got to use these code words. And I need to get him out of the clutches of some potentially dangerous people. And when they did do that, when the cops did pull up 4 minutes after they pulled out of the driveway of the grandmother's home, this young man is gone and nowhere to be seen. We got some things to look into. So let's jump into it, okay? So, a silver alert has been declared for Bryson Muir. Okay. He is, by the way, very tall for 14 years old. He's 6'2, 185 pounds. Okay. He's a black male with black hair and brown eyes. Okay. He was last seen wearing, or he was last seen with a black eye, wearing an orange Under Armour shirt and blue jeans. Okay. Now, they say, despite the parents, they say that they were cooperating at first, like it was in the beginning stages of them starting to cooperate. Now, Daniel and Kristen Muir, the parents of Bryson, have since backed out of the agreement to bring Bryson to the ISP, the Indiana State Police Post in Peru, and speak with detectives. And I think a lot of us are wondering why. That doesn't make any sense. But of course, I'm wondering what's going on in Logansport as well. Let's continue. So they say that they continue to look for this young man. Okay. And it's been well over 12 days. All right. And family and police, okay, extended family and police are believing that this kid could be the victim of abuse by his parents. Okay. Like we talked about, he is the son of a former NFL player, okay, who is now a person of interest in the investigation. And of course, we're going to talk about the dad here in just a little bit. It's pretty wild stuff that has unearthed and has been presented as of late about the dad. But again, let's get into the grandma's report. It says Bryson was last seen by non-parental family members on June 16th after leaving his grandmother's home outside of Cleveland, Ohio, with his mother, Kristen Muir, in her 2015 Chevy Suburban, okay? And a white 2015 Chevy Suburban. The kid's grandmother reported to the police that Bryson had a black eye and might be getting attacked by his own parents. We got to use these code words, guys. Indiana State Police Captain Galaviz said it was just minutes between when the son and mother left the home and when local police pulled over the Suburban. He continues saying it was minutes. It wasn't a very long period of time whatsoever. But in that period of time, Bryson wasn't able to be found. We don't know where he went. Now, what's interesting, like I said, this young man, okay, got into this car, dressed how he was dressed, got into the car, and what's interesting is some reports say he got into the car with Kristen, his mother, and just his mother. Some other reports say it was Kristen and a mysterious man sitting in the back seat. Then there's other reports, which we're going to hear in a second, that it was not only just his mother, but his father, Daniel, in the car as well, with a mysterious man sitting in the back. He gets into this car. They drive off. 4 minutes later, police pull over the car, and Bryson's gone. Now, of course, a lot of people are wondering what actually happened here. Who could have done the exchange? Was there an exchange? Did he get out of the car and just run? I would too if I got tired of being attacked by my parents. And again, have you seen Daniel? This is a big, big man. Okay? And imagine being 14 years old. Yes, he might be a tad bit taller than his own dad, but look at this man. Okay? He looks like he moved refrigerators in a past life. Okay? With ease, by the way, with ease. So you're telling me that a 14-year-old boy wouldn't be scared if the father is physically intimidating their child? I wouldn't be surprised if he got up and just kicked rocks and just ran. But then again, that is not what they think. They believe that there was an exchange. This is what police believe. They believe that this young man was exchanged between cars. And I'm kind of wanting to know why. Why would that happen? So, moving on into the next piece, okay? Because we got a little bit here. What's interesting is that, like I said before, The fact that the parents are not willing to work with police speak volumes to me. That says so much to me. I don't know about you guys, but it says a lot. And it says that something's not right here. The fact that they're not willing to pick up the phone and receive phone calls from police, check in with them when police asked to see Bryson just a few days ago, just to see him alive and well. They refuse to do that as well. It just doesn't make sense to me. It sounds to me like they have something to hide. Could be a couple of different things, but at the same time, anything is possible in this situation. But I do think that this young man, Bryson Muir, is in some serious, serious trouble. That's just my own personal opinion. Now, we need to talk about the dad, okay? Which is also something very, very interesting, okay? He, of course, we already know, former NFL player. He's had many years, playing football professionally and all that. We already know he's a big guy. But he also went on and bought some land that now is connected to a religious organization. And we got to use these code words, okay? Some people are saying it's a cult, and some people are just saying it's a religious organization. But he apparently is a pastor now, a part of this organization called the Straight Way Ministry. And of course, we got some video I want to share with you guys here in a second, but you can see that this is someone that is very passionate about what they believe. Now, some might find it radicalized. Some might just say it's just passion. I leave that opinion up to you guys. But clearly, there is a mindset, there is a beliefs, ideologies that are implemented, I'm sure, not only just in his congregation, but also within his family. There's something very interesting about this young man being allegedly attacked by his own parents. And I'm wondering if there is a connection between Straightway Ministry and what's going on with Bryson. He also is a prominent figure. He's a pastor. He's one of the faces of this congregation, of this faith. And I'm wondering, are they hiding Bryson for some sort of reason? Are they hiding him away for some strange and odd reason? I don't know, but I do have questions. I do want to show you guys, though, a little bit of his preaching. Take a look at this.
You got to embrace this pain, man, while keeping this honor, man. You got to embrace it. And see, this is what I'm talking about today. As I said, we ain't going to be too much. We ain't going to be long. Okay? But we got to embrace this, man. Be happy in this. Be joyful in this. Knowing that you're growing. You can't work out and get in shape without going through no pain. Come on. You got to go through some pain. But when you start to see the results and you just like, oh, man.
Come on, man.
You start getting more confident.
That's it.
You start hitting it like, man, let's go.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? You got to go through some pain. I tore my back. But guess what? Yesterday, I turned around and did 35 push-ups. I said, hey, how many of y'all I went around? Hey, man, guess how many push-ups I did? Excited. You think it wasn't painful feeling that scar tissue tear out? Yeah, it was painful. But I know I'm getting stronger. And if that's in the flesh, how much more in the spirit when you endure hardness as a good soldier and you stand up in the face of every bit of your adversity and you stand there and you say, in Jesus' name, I'm not moving. How about that?
Okay, I think we get the idea. Okay. And like I said, I leave that up to you guys on what you think about that. But at the same time, it is a very interesting piece of information. And, of course, his faith seems to be a big prominent piece of his life. Is he taking his ideologies and whatnot into the house? Is this how he upbrings and how he raises his children? I do not know. All I know is that someone is putting their hands, or at least was putting their hands on Bryson so much that the grandmother spoke out, called police, and said, I don't feel like my grandson is in a place that is fit for him. That should speak volumes. But then on top of it, as soon as police are called, he vanishes. Police are asking for them to show proof of life, and they are not cooperating. Both mom and dad, both the Muirs, are not helping out at all. That is some pretty wild stuff, in my personal opinion. Now, I want to share with you guys a quick news clip here. We're going to take a look at this whole thing. Let's take a look.
Tonight, Indiana State Police have issued a silver alert for the missing son of former Colts player Daniel Muir. Investigators say Bryson Muir was last seen leaving his grandma's house near Cleveland about 2 weeks ago. Our Chase Howell talked with the boy's grandmother tonight and Daniel Muir's sister. So, Chase, what did they say?
Scott, his sister tells me Daniel has been estranged from his family for years. When Cheryl Wright went to pick Bryson up in Toledo at her daughter's request, this is how she expected him to look. Instead, when he got in the car, she says he had a black eye, a fat lip, and a swollen face.
He told me that, he deserved it and it was okay.
Now, I have to say this again. The fact that he is saying that he deserved this, like it's okay, I deserved it. No person deserves what this kid has gone through, period. I don't care. You keep your doggone hands to yourself. All right. This is a 14-year-old boy. And he's thinking in his mind he deserves this. That's wrong. Okay. And of course, family saw this and said, this is not right. Regardless of how you look at this, this is not how you treat your own blood, your own seed. Let's continue on.
So I told him that it wasn't. No one should beat their children like that, not if they love them.
Friday night, I spoke to Wright on the phone for about 15 minutes about her daughter, Kristen, son-in-law, Daniel, and what she believes happened to her 14-year-old grandson.
So I just want to find Bryson. I want to make sure that he's okay.
Wright says the day she went to pick Bryson up, there were 3 people in the car, his mom and dad, and a man she didn't know.
Now, like I said, some reports saying that he went into a car with just his mom, and then there's other reports like this one right here that are saying that there were 3 people in the car. The mom, the dad, and a mysterious person in the back seat. Let's continue.
But only Bryson drove the nearly 2 hours back to her Cleveland home with her.
She just told me that I needed to pick him up. And because this is an ongoing case, I don't want to say everything that happened during our conversation, but she just told me that I needed to come get him.
After only a couple.
Exactly. Something's wrong here. I see him looking like this right here. He needs help and he needs safety as soon as possible.
Days, Wright says Bryson was picked up by his mother, his dad, and an adult male, but not before she called police. Wright says 3 or 4 minutes after they left, an officer pulled them over, but Bryson wasn't in the car.
Again, 4 minutes after he left his grandmama's home, he up and disappears as they're driving down the road. So what's going on here? Who's the person in the back seat? Who's that mysterious person? Was that a handler? Was that somebody there to coordinate getting Bryson into another car? What's going on here, really? Let's continue.
So what could have happened to Bryson within that 3 to 4 minutes that you think?
Sir, the only things that the police officers told me is that they probably put him into another vehicle, and that car drove off.
As of Friday,
they say they probably, just like I said, he got moved into another car and they drove off. That's very interesting. Why did they coordinate something like that then? What's going on here? What's really going on here? Let's go.
Friday afternoon, Indiana State Police say both Kristen and Daniel are no longer cooperating with investigators. Friday morning, State Police say the Muirs backed out of a meeting with police that they were supposed to bring Bryson to.
Bryson is, I believe, somewhere else, and they just don't want to bring him back. Maybe they don't want the police to see his face. I think it's been almost 2 weeks now, but I'm sure that those injuries are still there.
Okay. Now, and of course, he says later on that he has reached out to both Bryson's parents, Kristen and Daniel, just to be like, hey, just want to reach out to you and get your statement on this particular case, right? And on this particular report. And he heard nothing back. But what's really interesting about this, okay? This young man is still nowhere to be found. And I keep wondering, why would they make this young man just disappear? Is he being holed up somewhere while his bruises and cuts heal so that his dad doesn't get caught up with police and deal with some legal issues? You got to remember, his dad is not only just a public figure because he's an ex-football player, but he's also a public figure because he's a pastor. Okay, he of course speaks and leads, and is a part of this religious organization. So I keep wondering, is he doing that to just cover his own butt so he doesn't get in trouble? And then why wouldn't you just fess up, own up to your wrongdoings, okay, and just present proof of life of Bryson? The fact that they're not willing to show Bryson is making everyone throw up red flags, and it's making everyone look at them sideways. This doesn't make sense, guys, because to me, this could very well be foul play. This could very well be something that ends tragic. But given the fact that they have not done anything, given the fact that the family, the parents, have not stepped forward and done anything, that says a lot, guys. Again, he walked out of his grandma's house in bad shape. He was in bad shape before he walked in that house. And then grandma did the right thing, called police, because she believed that either this was the first time or this was the umpteenth time, but she just felt like maybe once is enough. She called 911 because she knew that her grandson was in dire straits. And then now he's nowhere to be found. Again, where is this young man? Where's Bryson? And why hasn't Daniel and Kristen stepped forward and started to cooperate with police, show that Bryson's okay? Why haven't they done that? It's a very odd situation, guys. I hope that we get some justice or at least some transparency, some clarification at least when it comes to this young man's case. Anyway, guys, that's the video. Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you appreciate the summary, okay, of all the bullet points of what we covered this morning, please be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit that like button down below. Of course, subscribe to this secondary channel. We will be doing summaries like this a lot more often, okay? I would really, really appreciate it. So go over there, crush it. Show some love, put in your comments, let me know. And of course, please share his name, share his face. Hashtag Bryson Muir if you can. That'd be greatly appreciated. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Talk to you guys soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.